is a concern, and everybody just remains hopeful that eventually this will take off, because there is a petition at the moment in Japan collecting signatures so that the games do not take off. Some section of the Japanese saying that hosting the games could be suicidal. But as Mr. Misigo says, we remain hopeful that all the protocols, all the measures will be put in place, and eventually these games will take place safely and ensure that the Olympic spirit and Paralympic spirit, come to pass, and we all celebrate our athletes by the end of the day. Mr. Mutuma, as the team manager of Team Kenya, Tokyo Paralympics team, COVID is a concern. We hope that you are, exercising and sharing the safety message with the teams to ensure that even as we go through the qualifiers, safety becomes the top priority.
Yes, thank you very much, Apidi. And just like our general team manager said, as the Paralympic team, we are really emphasizing on the protocols to be followed. To enumerate some few measures, first of all, I must thank the government through the Ministry of Sports and our very good Cabinet Secretary, Madam Amina, because like you are aware, all athletes have been indeed vaccinated. This was done at the Kasarani Stadium, and all other technical officials, including the coaches and the possible other technical officials, including the medical staff, have indeed been vaccinated. And the athletes, wherever they are, some are in high altitude areas in Eldoret and Kapsabet, and even the ones in the other disciplines, like the one we have in Mombasa for rowing. All of them, we have emphasized the need for people to take those measures, because we indeed ourselves as the sporting fraternity and the world in general, we pray and believe that if all the protocols are followed, then we can have a successful Olympic and Paralympic tournament.
I mean, it is the order of the day in terms of safety protocols. Before I come back to Mr. Misigo, Mr. Mutuma, are you working in collaboration? I've heard you mention the Ministry of Sports. Are you also working in collaboration with the Ministry of Health so as to ensure that you get the right messaging that you need to pass out to the team? And if there are any concerns, are they always willing there to support you in terms of giving you direction around the protocols and the do's and don'ts?
Indeed, that is indeed true. We are working very closely with the Ministry of Sports and through the Office of the Commissioner of Sports, Panagitonga. He has connected us with the liaisons officers, and we have in our Paralympic appointed a liaison officer who is then disseminating information in a manner that the athletes can understand. For instance, in terms of when they go to train or to exercise, the protocols they are supposed to follow, immediately after training, how they are supposed to freshen up. And this has indeed been going on very well, because so far we have not had any incidents of a positive case of an athlete. And we pray that the situation obtains until we finish the Paralympic Games and they are henceforth.
I mean, it's our prayer, and it's good that none, has tested positive. It is our prayer, and we hope that, the teams remain positive but test negative in terms of results and, and every other thing. Mr. Misigo, as we look at what to expect going forward, a lot has really happened. The paracycling team has just come back from Belgium, and we also know that you have a schedule of some of the the disciplines leaving for Peru, others to Dubai. We have the powerlifting team. We also know that the shooting team scheduled to leave for Peru. Are you satisfied with the qualifiers so far, and are you optimistic that we'll have as many athletes qualify for Paralympics in Tokyo?
Yeah, I'm very hopeful that apart from athletics, we are finished with athletics, and the final slot of our athletics team will be coming by the end of June, as my team manager has just stated. We'll have the final slot for our athletics team, and then it will be followed by Rowing, we have already qualified one person, the lady from Mombasa, and there are more coming when we visit Tokyo. Same will happen with powerlifting. We also expect, because most of our athletes are ranked very high in powerlifting, so we expect there to have some few slots. And even the shooter is ranked on top in Africa, so we are very hopeful that we'll get another position there.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to all those who've qualified so far, and wishing the rest the best in their qualifying matches and in their qualifying rounds, so that we send in as many as possible. As Mr. Misigo says, athletics are done, and as we all know that athletics remain one of Kenya's bread basket, because athletics is known to be Kenya's backbone in terms of sports. But we are optimistic that other sports disciplines, as usual, will also turn up and give us very good performances. Mr. Mutuma, now that some of the athletes have already qualified, are you monitoring their progress? Are you monitoring their training? And do you have a schedule that you're working with the coaches to ensure that the athletes keep up with the right standards, keep up to the right body works that they need, so that come that Paralympics time, they are in good shape?
Yes, thank you, Ampher. Very good question, because indeed we are targeting nothing but the best. We just want medals for our athletes, and like you have said, for those ones who have qualified already, we have paired them up with their coaches, and already we are having a schedule for them, such that we have a program for them to maintain their fitness and for them to maintain that high performance, such that when we go to Japan, we ensure that we get medals. And also, in addition, I would like to say that this time we are very happy and lucky that apart from our tradition of track and field, we have had other disciplines like the GTM, the general team manager has said. We have other disciplines like the rowing, the powerlifting, the shooting, and perhaps even we might get one paracyclist. And this is a new field, and this is to encourage many, many other athletes not to give up, but to be encouraged in their sport of choice. Because like you have seen now, we are diversifying. We have the track and field, but now we are also having other disciplines. And this will ensure that our country's name goes higher and higher.
Well, we all expect, and Kenyans will be looking at other disciplines also making the Kenyan flag fly higher and higher. As we talk about this, Mr. Misigo, we all know that the games are happening from the 17th of August all the way to the 5th of September. But there were plans of the team leaving earlier on, that's 12 days before, on the 5th of August, because of the Karuma camp in Tokyo to acclimatize and stuff. Is the camp or deal closed, and are they aware about your coming, and are you looking forward to the acclimatization period that's 12 days before the same?
Yeah, the Kuruma camp has been, the deal is already closed. They're expecting us. Everything is in order. The facilities are in order. It's just that we are just waiting for the date. Then we move. The athletes train there for acclimatization purposes.
It's good because one of the main thing normally is athletes feel motivated, and the morale goes high when they have to leave in good time to acclimatize and get a feel of what to expect during the games, because a stage fright can as well come out to be a very unfortunate situation should any of that arises. As we look at that, Mr. Misigo, still with you, we have shooting scheduled to leave the country for Peru. We have powerlifting as well for Dubai. You've mentioned how confident you are that we will and we should get more qualifiers from this. Are there any other games or disciplines that qualifiers are yet to happen? And if yes, which ones? Because powerlifting are key. We all know that Kenya has some of the best powerlifters, not forgetting Nigeria, which has always been known to be a good country from powerlifting. Are there other sporting disciplines, Mr. Misigo, that we should expect more qualifiers to come out for Tokyo?
Unfortunately, there are no other disciplines that we're expecting qualifications, but we are expecting from other disciplines like swimming, at least to get a bi-pattern. We are very hopeful we'll get a bi-pattern in swimming. It's just like a wildcard. Bi-pattern is the other name of
wildcard, right?
Yeah. We're expecting something from there. But any other sports apart from athletics, cycling, shooting, and powerlifting, we didn't get the right athletes to take us there, because with Paralympic sports nowadays, the qualifying rounds is very tedious, because you must participate at least in 4 international events for you to head to Tokyo.
Those are some of the requirements.
Those are the requirements.
Okay.
That's why you see us in, out. 4 of them we must.
Very tough indeed, and we know that our athletes are always able and set whenever they are called up for the same. Mr. Mutuma, as the team manager, is there a plan for the team to go to camp locally before the 5th of August departure to Kuruma City for the acclimatization, 12-day period in Tokyo? Or is there a plan that maybe the team will be in camp once you've gotten to know who has qualified in the country, so that you have everyone together, then get to know each other, then eventually depart for Tokyo?
Yes, that is indeed true, because we all are aware that camp period really helps athletes to come together, to bond, because this time they are not with their families, or they're not having other concerns which normally appear in life. But when they are put together in camp, then this period helps them to really get stimulated and generate the best output. So those plans are there, and once the full team composition has been constituted, I believe by the 17th of July, we should be able to set camp locally, and then the athletes shall be able to prepare. So at that time, depending on the protocols and the situation, the committee shall sit down, because there's a steering committee and a management committee, and then we shall be advised on the location of the camp locally, whether here at Kasarani or at the high altitude camp. So those plans are there indeed.
Well, it is something that many would always want to know about, because the roadmap for such a major championship, critical for the same, so that the athletes can get to know each other and get a real feel of how a camp or a bubble would look like. Mr. Misigo, the government recently opened up through the presidential announcement, sports opening up and resumption of sports. Has this given you more hope that some of your athletes, even those preparing for powerlifting and shooting, now have an opportunity to even get better in terms of shape, in terms of practice sessions, etc.? Does that give you hope that you can send more? Because it's a welcome move from all sporting disciplines in the country.
Yeah, we thank the government for the move. It has really opened up. Our athletes are training wherever they are, like my team manager just explained, in Kapsabet, in Wasingishu. They are all busy in Mombasa. They are all busy with their coaches. The government has really assisted us there, and they have also, we'll also be having a bubble camp. Apart from we will have a bubble camp where at least we will fine-tune our athletes, because this is not only a championship, this is the topmost sporting activity in an athlete's life. To perform in the Olympics is a dream for any athlete to perform at that highest level.
Mm-hmm.
So with the bubble comes, before the main camp comes, it will put us together. We gauge our athletes, their strengths, where they are lacking. At least with our coaches, we improve on them before the Olympic Games start.
The bubble normally so scary for some athletes, because once you are in, you can't come out. Have you, as the team manager, Mutuma, have you
Yes.
prepared the athletes psychologically about what to expect in the bubble? Because once in,
Yeah.
you can't come out until the camp is officially called off.
Yes, the NPC as the federation is having those discussions, and we are waiting. Once we constitute the full team, then definitely we'll have the psychologist, and with the support of the ministry, which have emphasized has given us a lot of support, we shall be able to sit down with the experts and explain to the athletes. And I must say the athletes are very cooperative and very eager. Just like the GTM has said, they know this is the highest level of competition, and I'm sure nobody would want to miss out. So we shall prepare the team that shall talk to them and discuss with them their concerns, so that once they enter the bubble, they shall be comfortable. So that is indeed underway. The plans are there.
Normally a very scary move, but like you put it, this is the ultimate point in any athlete's career. You being a Paralympian or an Olympian is always the ultimate goal. You've mentioned, Mr. Misigo, earlier on, you mentioned some of the programs, and you mentioned that some of the qualifiers you must have taken part in at least 4 international events, and things like that. It comes in with a lot of expenditure in terms of financial support. How is this happening? Are you getting support from the government, or is the Kenya Paralympics Committee really working behind the scenes and round the clock to ensure that even the camps like the shooting, heading to Peru, powerlifting, heading to Dubai, all that is well taken care of? Talk to us about the financial funding of the same, because everything definitely comes with some expenditure connected to it.
The government is our own sole sponsor. 100% we rely on the government. They have really tried. The CS, she's always lending us a ear. Whenever we have a qualification, she assists us completely, 100%. But I would like also to tell the corporate world, at least to come in and assist our government and assist these athletes who are training daily to qualify for these very important games, be it the Olympics, the World Championships, the Commonwealths. At least they should come in and sponsor us.
Well, sponsorship has always been, something that every organization, any federation always looking out for, because a lot is, put in place. By the time you see athletes coming back victorious, whatever happens behind the scenes is not what not many know about. But here, Mr. Misigo calling out and saying anyone willing and able to support the team should always just contact them, and things will always be worked out in terms of ensuring that the support gets to the team. Mr. Mutuma, it
Yes.
is now a matter of days. Everybody's looking at the Olympics and the Paralympic Games. Do you think there is pressure on you as a team now that everybody wants to compare the performance that is expected for now and the performance of the team? We've had other Paralympics officials here in studio, and they've always been very clear that every time they always want to raise the bar a little bit higher.
Yeah.
What's the expectation of the team as you still get some qualifiers? But as a technical team, as the team manager, you must be having your expectations.
Yes.
What are some of those expectations?
That is true. Indeed, like I said, this is the ultimate, and all the eyes and the ears and the concerns of Kenyans and the world every country is looking at the performance, because what actually determines is the performance. So there's that natural pressure, but we are trying to absorb it. And like the team manager, I'm constantly talking to my people, the coaches, the management, GTM and the CDM and the heads of the federation, so that we can work together and try to assure the athletes that they are good, and indeed not to get overwhelmed by the pressure, but just as they have been training, performing. And like you know, Ampher, that the competition is getting stiffer and stiffer. So even as we have to up our game, and like you know, we are all Team Kenya, both Paralympic and the National Olympic Committee. And just to go back a little bit what my GTM said, we thank the corporates like Kenya Charity Sweepstake, we know has given quite some money to the NOC. The other day, the East African Breweries has also come in. We are also talking to our sponsors who have sponsored us in the past, like the Safaricom, to come in, because we know this is the ultimate game, and the athletes, for them to ensure they have that optimal performance, they need to have all their concerns upheld. So that pressure is there, but we are taking it well, and our athletes, I must say, are really gearing up to show the world that they are prepared and they'll put their best foot forward.
Preparations is key, because without preparations, you can never sit back and wait for results. It's like a computer. What you key in is what you get out. And if you don't prepare well, then definitely don't expect miracles in terms of good results. Mr. Misigo, there comes a point where team managers, coaches will be named, and a lot of expectations will be expected. But as at now, you must be following closely what individual coaches are doing with some of their athletes in terms of preparing them for some of the qualifiers. As the general team manager, are you looking at the progress of some of the coaches and some of the individual athletes, those whom you've already shortlisted and are going for the qualifiers? Are you in collaboration with their coaches just to ensure that they are in good shape and all is well in terms of their safety, in terms of their health, and above all, in terms of their preparations? Because some will be leaving for Peru and others to Dubai, especially the powerlifters.
Yeah, I've been in contact with the coaches, and they are doing quite a marvelous job. Mine is only to say that when the time comes for us to name them, we shall look at the coaches who are able to improve the athlete in this short duration. To improve them in this short duration, at least for the athlete to bring a medal. Most of our athletes are still young. They have not hit the ceiling. So we can adjust a lot of things. And they're willing to learn.
Mr. Misigo, I like your point where you said, you will look at coaches to improve, because the athletes already are good. So all you're looking at is an improvement so that you can get better results. What a way, to put it out, because if you bring in a coach who cannot improve the standards of the game or an athlete standard, then you are not helping the athlete improve in any way. Mr. Mutuma, now as the team manager, there will be a lot of work expected from you in terms of accreditation, in terms of logistics, getting everything to, getting everything ready. And of course, you will be working with the CDM, that's the chief division, in terms of logistics and ensuring the right athletes are in the right place and stuff. Are you set for the task, and are you in collaboration with other officials to ensure that when they are named, all documents are in place and everything is set for Koruma City?
That is true. That is true. I know this time a lot of preparation must be done to ensure that all the athletes, all the technical officials, the coaches, the medical staff, and the officials have their documents in order, the accreditations is done, the entries are done, There's a lot of correspondence between ourselves and the organizing committee. So that one we are on top of things, and already we have done the long list of accreditation. So at least we are prepared in time. We are prepared in time, and we are always in collaboration with NOC and the other officials, other stakeholders, of course, including yourselves, like the journalists. And you see, that's why we have that chain and that synergy to ensure that all this is aimed at ensuring Team Kenya makes it to the very best, and we give it all the support, right from what His Excellency the President has said, coming all the way down to us here with the teams. So as a team manager, I'm very much prepared and aware of the situation and the expectations at hand.
A lot expected, but there are never doubts. We got an opportunity to also speak to the Chef de Mission of the Tokyo Paralympics team, also exuding a lot of confidence. And with the Mutuma, with Mr. Misigo, it looks like it promises to be a very, very good outing for Kenya in terms of medal haul and in terms of a very good performance. Mr. Misigo, as we look at this, National Olympic Committee has been in the forefront of supporting different sporting federations and really looking at the Olympics and Paralympics. Are you working in collaboration with the National Olympic Committee led by Paul Tergat and of course Mr. Mutuku in terms of getting support where you need it so that by the end of the day, the Paralympics team also get the best preparations as they head for Paralympics in Tokyo? That's on the 5th of August as you start with your Kuruma camp, because that's the same camp that even the Olympic team is supposed to be going to for, for the camping schedule that was supposed to be.
Yeah, we are very much in contact with the National Olympic Committee, even the steering committee, which comprises of our Chef de Mission, our Madam President, and our Secretary General. They take part there, they sit with the NOC. Whatever we are lacking, they always tell them, and they are really assisting us. Even in terms of where we are lacking expertise, where they are supporting us. So our relationship is good.
Well, as we look at that, the relationship is always critical in terms of getting things done, because if you have a good relationship, then definitely you will always have your way out. As we start winding up this discussion, Mr. Mutuma, what would your message be to Kenyans? Because Paralympics has always been the sport that against all odds will always surprise you with medals when they come back at the airport. What would your message be to Kenyans as we start winding up?
That is very wonderful, and I'd like to take this opportunity because this is a national broadcaster, to appeal to all the Kenyans to watch, give support, prayers to the Paralympians. And just like you have said, we shall again surprise them with medals, and we shall make our country proud. So to all Kenyans, thank you very much for the support you are giving. When the time comes, come out in any way to support the Paralympians. And if you have any young athletes for the future, just when we call for trials and all that, just come out and ensure that they also participate and make a career out of sports. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
That's a good one. And before I go to Mr. Misigo, Mr. Mutuma, what would be, your picture of success from Tokyo Paralympics if the team went? What would that picture look like?
The picture would be, I'm looking at us coming back with a bag full of medals, so that, such that each athlete has at least 1 or 2 medals in the category they compete in. So to me, that would be a great honor, leading that kind of team as a TM and ensuring that we come back having made our country proud. And this will really inspire many, many other younger athletes to come up. So indeed, that's my picture of success.
Well, it's a good picture, and I was expecting you to just say as many medals medals as possible. But it's also good. Mr. Misigo, as the general team manager, what would your parting shot be to Kenyans now that they're watching and they know that Paralympics is that, area where we can expect lots of surprises in terms of bringing medals back to the country?
My parting shot to my fellow Kenyans is they should tune in to Paralympics. At least we would like, when we look at the Paralympic channel, TV channel, we see that the audience has been so many millions, just like the Olympics. Please tune in and support us. The corporate world kindly support the Paralympic. These are your fellow Kenyans. They are your children, your brothers and sisters. Support them in whichever way. And to add on what my team manager said, anywhere there is a disabled person who is into sports. Not everybody is into sports, but any disabled person who is into sports, kindly try and liaise with the relevant offices, either in the county level, or you can even contact the Paralympic. At least we get more and more athletes. Whatever games the able are playing, we are also playing. Be it judo, be it taekwondo. We have even athletes in taekwondo, in judo. So anywhere there's a disabled person and is into those sports, kindly you can liaise with the relevant offices. At least that person, his talent doesn't go to waste. Thank you.
Well, what a way to wrap up this very good call from the team here in studio. You might be out there and able differently. Just reach out to the Paralympics team, of course, here in the country, headed by Madam Agnes Aloch, very, very, supportive in terms of ensuring that your talent does not go to waste. Mr. Stanley Mutuma, team manager, Team Kenya, Tokyo Paralympics, and of course, Leonard Misigo, general team manager, Paralympics team to Tokyo. Thank you very much for making time to be with us and wishing you all the best in terms of getting as many more qualifiers. Of course, as we draw near, you might be in camp then due to the bubble. We will find ways of reaching out to you so that Kenyans can get to know how we are faring on before you depart for Kuruma City. That's on the 5th of August. Thank you very much for making time to be with us.
Asante sana.
Well, up next, that has been a discussion around Paralympic Games, how prepared the team is, what to expect, and the roadmap between now and the team heads to Kuruma City on the 5th of August. Up next, we go into a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be linking up with our team, Shujaa team, who are in Stellenbosch, South Africa, where they've just finished second on the Solidarity Cup. Then, of course, Mr. Barnaba Korir will be joining us. Remember, we are talking about Olympic preparations, and you don't want to miss that discussion. That's after this short commercial break.